Have you ever had an incredible weekend with God? You felt lighter, you felt stronger, you felt encouraged. You laughed, you cried, you worshiped. You took pages of notes, you made declarations, you left believing things were finally going to be different. Then Monday showed up. The laundry was still there, the bills were still there, the marriage still needed work. The caregiver responsibilities were still waiting. The ministry still needed volunteers. The children still needed rides. The anxiety still tried to creep back in. And suddenly, that mountaintop moment felt very far away. If you've ever experienced that, today's conversation is for you. Welcome to the Breathe Life podcast. I'm Dr. Yonnicka, and today we're talking about something that almost nobody discusses after conferences, retreats, women's events, revivals, and spiritual breakthroughs. What happens when the conference is over? We love the mountain, but God uses the valley. One of the biggest misconceptions in Christianity is believing that transformation happens during the event. But the truth is, transformation begins during the event, but it is built in everyday life. Most women do not need another emotional moment. Most women need sustainable healing. There's a difference because emotions can change in a weekend. Patterns change over time. Anyone can feel inspired for a few days, but healing is tested when life starts lifing again. Yeah, that's what I said. Life starts lifing again. The real work starts when the atmosphere changes. The real work starts when nobody is cheering. The real work starts when nobody is laying hands on you. The real work starts when you're standing in your kitchen by yourself trying to remember what God said 3 days ago. That's where growth happens. James 1, verse 22 says, "Do not merely listen to the word and so deceive yourselves. Do what it says." The goal isn't just hearing the truth. The goal is becoming transformed by that truth. The hidden exhaustion that nobody talks about. Well, let's talk about that right now. I think one of the biggest issues affecting women right now is hidden exhaustion. I mean, come on, let's be real. Not physical exhaustion, soul exhaustion, the kind nobody sees. The woman who is caregiving for aging parents, the ministry leader carrying everyone else's burdens, the entrepreneur trying to build something meaningful, the wife holding her household together, the mother trying not to fail her children, the nurse, the teacher, the preacher's wife, the volunteer, the woman everyone calls when they need help. Let's be honest. Sometimes we become so busy helping everyone else heal that we never address our own wounds. That's a huge problem. And eventually, we become spiritually depleted while appearing spiritually strong. That is a dangerous place to live because eventually performance replaces authenticity. And when performance replaces authenticity, burnout isn't far behind. And let's face it, we're all suffering from burnout. But can I ask you something? Who takes care of the woman who takes care of everybody else? Who pours into her? Who checks on her? Who notices when she's struggling? Matter of fact, who gives her permission to rest? Because some women have become so accustomed to carrying others that they no longer know how to put the weight down. Ministry strain is real. Let's talk honestly. Ministry can be beautiful, but ministry can also be exhausting. And sometimes people feel guilty admitting that. You can love God and still feel tired. You can be called and still feel overwhelmed. You can serve faithfully and still need rest. Even Jesus stepped away. Even Jesus withdrew. Even Jesus rested. Yet somehow, many women believe they must always be available, always serving, always smiling, always giving, always showing up. Eventually, that becomes unsustainable. Ministry was never designed to replace intimacy with God. It was supposed to flow from intimacy with God. Once again, ministry was never designed to replace intimacy with God. It was supposed to flow from that intimacy with God. So if your ministry is draining your relationship with God, something needs attention. Matthew 11 and 28 says, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Notice, Jesus did not say, "Come to me when you're completely burned out." He said, "Come when you're weary." Many women wait too long. Many women wait too long. They wait until they're weary to come to Jesus. Healing is not an event. This may be one of the most important things I say today. Healing is not an event. Healing is a lifestyle. The conference may spark it, the prayer might ignite it, the sermon may awaken it, the conversation may uncover it. But healing happens through daily decisions, daily surrender, daily boundaries, daily obedience, daily renewal. The women who experience lasting change are not usually the most emotional women. They are the most consistent women because consistency accomplishes what intensity never can. What real healing looks like. Let's talk about that. I mean, real healing looks like going to counseling. I mean, it's not a stigma. We need help. And when we need help, we get help, point blank. Real healing looks like taking the walk, looks like getting enough sleep, saying no, setting boundaries. Don't forget this one, reading your Bible when nobody sees, praying when nobody's listening, choosing peace over drama, choosing obedience over comfort, choosing growth over familiarity. Those choices rarely get applause, but they change lives. Let's talk about why community matters. One reason women struggle after conferences is because they go home alone, not physically, emotionally. The atmosphere changes, the encouragement changes, the support changes, the accountability changes. This is why community matters. God never intended us to heal in isolation. And that's one of the reasons why spaces like Beauty from Ashes matter. Not because it's another event, no, but because it creates connections. It creates relationships, conversations, sisterhood. Beauty from Ashes creates support systems. Women realizing that they are not the only ones carrying heavy things. Women discovering they are not alone. And sometimes that realization changes everything. Hold tight and be sure to stay until the end because we will be right back after this commercial.
This episode is also powered by Falera CRM. Falera helps churches, ministries, business owners, and growing organizations simplify communication, automate follow-up, manage email marketing, build online communities, and organize daily operations all in one place. From landing pages and automations to courses and client communication, Falera is built to help leaders spend less time overwhelmed and more time focused on people. Learn more at faleracrm.com.
Okay, welcome back. I want to speak directly to you. I want to speak directly to the woman listening while driving, the woman folding laundry, the woman sitting in her office, the woman caring for someone else, the woman serving in ministry, the woman who feels tired but cannot explain why. I want you to hear this. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to receive. You are allowed to need support. You're allowed to be honest. You're allowed to heal. You do not have to earn God's love. You do not have to earn rest. You do not have to prove your worth through exhaustion. Your value was settled long before your productivity. I'm telling you, beauty from ashes, it means so much to me. Not because of attendance numbers, not because of speakers, not because of stages, not because of lights, but because women walk in carrying their stories and they leave realizing that they are seen. They leave realizing they're not beyond broken repair. They leave realizing that God still has purpose for their lives. And perhaps most importantly, they leave knowing they do not have to carry everything alone. So finally, I just want to leave you with some encouragement. Maybe today you're just tired. Maybe today you're just discouraged. Maybe you're carrying something nobody knows about. Maybe you've been pouring from an empty cup for far too long. This is your reminder. Pause, breathe, reconnect, refill. All right, let's try that again. This right here is your reminder to pause, breathe, reconnect, and refill. God is not asking you to carry the entire world. He's asking you to walk with Him. One day at a time, one step at a time, one prayer at a time, one act of obedience at a time. Galatians 6, verse 9 says, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." Do not give up. Wow. The seeds you planted matter. The prayers you prayed matter. The lives you've touched matter. And most importantly, you matter. Thank you for joining me today on the Breathe Life podcast. If this episode encouraged you, share it with another woman who may need this reminder. And remember, healing is not something you visit. Healing is something you practice. Keep breathing, keep growing, keep trusting, and keep moving forward. We'll see you next time on the Breathe Life podcast. Let's talk about Breathe Life Ministries, Beauty from Ashes, and Rise Again 2027. Sometimes life leaves women carrying things nobody can see. The pressure, the disappointment, the exhaustion, the silent battles. This is why Breathe Life Ministries exists. To create spaces where women can pause, heal, grow, and remember who they are. One of those spaces is the Beauty from Ashes conference, where women gather for encouragement, laughter, restoration, meaningful conversations, and life-changing moments of connection. And the journey doesn't stop there. Coming in January 2027, women from around the world will gather online for Rise Again, a free global women's conference created to inspire hope, healing, courage, and fresh beginnings. Whether you're joining us in person through Beauty from Ashes or online through Rise Again, there is a place for you. Because no woman should have to walk through difficult seasons alone. Visit b4aconference.com to learn more about Beauty from Ashes and watch for details about Rise Again 2027. Breathe Life Ministries, helping women breathe, heal, and rise again.